city of New Orleans sits on the banks of the Mississippi River, a city rich with history and culture. New Orleans faces challenges common to most cities, and a few unique to them, the Crescent City. This is the story of how they're getting creative, taking advantage of the world of sensors at their fingertips, citizens themselves, using ArcGIS to empower crowdsourcing and citizen engagement, ultimately building a foundation for civic responsibility and a connected, resilient community. To share their work with us and this vision of civic responsibility, please welcome Lamar Gardier, Greg Hemel, and JB Rosh.
Thanks, Lauren. New Orleans is an amazing place, filled with creativity and innovation, which is a really polite way to say we're different. One of those differences is in the way that we talk. Sometimes, as a greeting, we say, "Where you at?" Now, all that really means is, "How are you?" But we've taken that greeting literally and added it to every page of our website so that residents could get quick access to information about their neighborhoods and city services. Where you at is a typical form of communication for a city government, where the flow of information is one way, from government out to citizens. But we knew that our problems were big enough that we needed new approaches to communication. That's where citizen engagement comes in. To introduce this idea, let's talk about our special relationship with water. New Orleans is surrounded by water, and we're an international city, so you might imagine things like the Zika virus are particularly difficult for us. We've enlisted the help of 200 volunteers to go door to door, raising awareness of mosquito concerns. As they do that, they use Collector for ArcGIS to collect information about standing water to better understand our environment. Because New Orleans is below sea level, we have to be very thoughtful about how we use our land. Together, with the community, we built a map that indicates areas of high absorption based on soil permeability, wetlands, and historical flood zones. Using this map, we can think in completely different ways about how we build our environment and our neighborhoods. You might also remember that back in 2005, water created a massive blight problem for us. The subject of blight is one of the city's most ongoing and difficult conversations. Blight status was a tool that gave citizens their first deep look into the blight remediation process. But we still don't have a clear picture of what is or isn't blighted in New Orleans. We'd like to show you our novel approach to how we will again engage citizens around blight.
So, the first thing we did was have a look at other survey methods and thought we'd do things a little differently. We decided to collect our own street-level photos for every parcel in the city. We brought this idea to Esri and to develop a solution that would work for everyone. Now, any local government can collect photos faster, and citizens can rate properties in their community. We came up with a simple 10-second survey, and it's easy. Answer these 6 questions. Is there a structure on the property? Is the lot overgrown? Does there appear to be damage to the siding or walls, to the doors or windows, to the roof? And what's the foundation type? To reduce the likelihood of bias from one part of town to another, the scoring is actually handled randomly across the city. So volunteers can be anywhere at any time, and this is much faster than a traditional sidewalk survey. So you may be wondering, how did we collect all of these photos?
To collect the photos, we put 2 of these cameras in vehicles and drove every street in the city, about 1,900 miles of road. These are $400 consumer-grade cameras with a built-in wide-angle lens so that we can capture clear photos of buildings close to the street, and an integrated GPS to capture the location of each photo taken. After collection, we matched the location of each photo to the nearest parcel to prepare for scoring.
This dashboard allows us to see results in real time with problems shown here in red. So running frequent surveys will give us a reliable layer of vacant lots and foundation type, giving us a sense of our housing resiliency. As you can see, we started scoring properties ourselves. But this is where we're going to really need your help. We're going to ask everyone at the UC this week to be a censor. You'll get an email at lunch today with a link for this application hosted by Esri Managed Services. If each of you scores just a few properties, it will go a long way towards giving us a baseline before the peak of hurricane season, which is kind of just around the corner. Y'all can do that, right? Thank you. Next, we'd like to share with you how we help citizens stay informed of development activity in our city.
For the first time in decades, we've updated our comprehensive zoning ordinance with an eye toward modern land use in an urban environment. With substantial changes to the way land is used, 3D has become an important tool in planning, especially near the river, where everyone wants a piece of the view. These are the permits issued in just the downtown area since the beginning of the year. We've been keeping pretty busy. Unfortunately, keeping track of all this change is just too much for one person to be able to keep up with. So we built Notice Me, an application to notify citizens of land use changes and to encourage them to participate in the planning process. Notice Me sends email notifications based on areas that users draw and based on the types of notices they'd like to receive. Users can also draw or select from predefined areas such as neighborhood association boundaries or city council districts, and they can select whether they prefer to receive daily or weekly notices. The emails include instructions on how to participate in the planning process, whether that be in person or in writing. We're also contributing back to the open source community by releasing this and the other tools and apps we've developed on GitHub. Now, we've changed the way we use land, we've changed a lot of our buildings, and we're doing a lot of change to our streets and infrastructure. Over $3 billion worth of change, in fact. This work really gets in the way of our daily lives. So we created Roadwork to let everyone in the city know when construction starts and stops. But the one thing citizens really want to know is when exactly is it going to start on my block. Unfortunately, not even planned projects close and reopen roads precisely on schedule. And that's to say nothing of unplanned repairs. So to communicate better, we're developing a way to let road crews report exactly when a road is closed. Currently, when road crews close a road by dropping a cone, there's no reliable way to convey that information to residents. We need to give the crews a way to report road closures, especially for unplanned work. So we're working on an app that allows the road crews themselves to become sensors, reporting when the road is closed and reporting when we've reopened the road once work is complete. We can use this to keep track of our planned projects as well as our emergency work. But we also need to communicate better about the smaller repairs, the ones that have an impact on travel only when it rains.
We hear from the public through our 311 call center, and here's a look at localized street flooding over the last 9 months. Our pump system pumps a lot of water out of the city, but you know, this only works well when the catch basins can do their job. And sometimes the catch basins get clogged with debris from all sorts of things, but especially when our live oak trees drop all of their leaves at once. So we needed to expand this conversation with our citizens and collaborate more around the problem. So we brought another idea to Esri. Let's adopt a catch basin. It's very easy to use. You sign up with your email, then zoom to your neighborhood. Click on the catch basin that you would like to adopt. Give it a fun name. Click Adopt Me, and now it's yours. And here's the cool part. This app establishes a two-way conversation between our 311 with our 311 system to open and close tickets. and that's going to go a really long way. So now that we have a method to get thousands of these catch basins adopted, we can keep an eye on the rain that's coming with this app that uses NOAA data from the Living Atlas. Taking a look at Louisiana right now, we are going to get some well-needed rain. They tell me it hasn't rained in a week. Sometimes we get more than we can handle at once, I suppose. So what we want to do is send out an email to everyone who's agreed to adopt a catch basins to maybe clean the debris from their catch basin one last time. But New Orleans can do more. We can reduce the amount of water that we allow into the pump system from our properties in the first place. This crowdsourced story map can be used by everyone in town to share their ideas. It's very easy to participate. You just click here, drop in your photo so everyone can see your work. New Orleans is well known for food, music, and of course Mardi Gras. But soon, we want to be known for how we've changed the way that we work with water. Thank you.